All right. Good morning, everybody. Today we have Willamette Dental, and we have Lauren to talk to us about Willamette Dental. But before that, let's do a little housekeeping. As you know, you need to check in, so your teacher know that you're here. And if you have a great questions document, this is the great questions document that you can reference to, and the evaluation form. This is how we give you credit, and this is how we mark you as your attendance. And this is a requirement for you to graduate in high school in Oregon. Be fully present. This is a good time to ask questions. You can ask questions in the chat, or you can turn on your camera. And again, the evaluation, this is very important. Do this right after this event, so every knowledge is still fresh. And again, this is how we give you credit. And that is it for me.
All right. Hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen so I can get my presentation up here. All right. I hope everybody can see that. So my name is Lauren Ewell. Again, it's wonderful to meet you all. I am a senior recruiter here at Willamette Dental Group. I absolutely love my job. I have been with Willamette for just over a year now. So I recruit all dental fields in the Portland metro area. So from front desk all the way to dentists, which we call doctors. Our front desk associates, we call them patient care advocates. And then we also have sterilizers, dental assistants, hygienists, and then dentists. I'd love to tell you a little bit about Willamette Dental and our history, and then I'll kind of jump into questions and a little bit more about my job in general. Let's see, next slide. There we go. All right, so where we started. So we are actually the largest privately owned group practice in the Pacific Northwest. Our Dr. Eugene Skirties, who is our president, founder, and CEO still currently, he started our first office in Jefferson Street in downtown Portland, which is 6 employees. And then now we are the largest privately owned multi-specialty group practice in the Pacific Northwest. He is still our current founder and CEO, and he's a part-time managing dentist, so he does still actually work in office. And then let's see where we are today. Now, this is our newest office, so it's our Lents location. So if you kind of know where the Lents area is, we kind of named it after the geographical location. It's our newest office, and it has over 14,000 square feet, so it's our largest office as well. And we now have over 500,000 patients and 1,500 employees. So we went from 6 employees to 1,500. And then we also have more than 50 locations. So we are in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. So we've got a nice section of more than 1,500 employees and 200 dentists. We keep growing every year. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Oh, I have a video for you to watch. Let's see if I can play it. Yes. Oh no.
At Willamette, it's just all about the patients.
Evidence-based dentistry.
Really modern dentistry.
Only do what's in the best interest of the patient.
We're all about making patients healthier.
Patients come first.
I can confidently go into work and say I'm helping people.
They know that what we're doing is the best interest for them.
Our employees love working there so much because it's filled with nothing but employees who love to take care of other people.
All right, so our employees, like they mentioned in the video, we love to be active. We love to have fun as a group. So not only are we having a great time with our patients and the people who we're working with at our offices. We're very, each office is very close knit, but we love to do things as a whole company. So some of the things that we've done to be active in the community, we've done Hood to Coast. And then we've also done in 2019, I believe that's what this photo is. It's the Purple Stride, which was in Seattle. We also had a Cirque du Soleil party. And then we also have appreciation weeks. And so we have these weeks where they are designated to patient care advocates, and then another week with dental assistants. And they're appreciation weeks where we give out prizes and raffles and shout outs and just all kinds of ways to appreciate our team and everybody on the team. Lots of team building. We've done I don't think the picture's on here, but we've done axe throwing, we've done escape rooms, scavenger hunts. So we try and make it fun. We try and build those connections, because when you're at work and you don't like who you work with, it can be tough, right? But if you can at least tolerate those people and then hopefully even become friendly with them, your work environment just becomes so much better. So doing team building like that just helps everyone kind of know how other people think and work and interact, and it just helps in the long run at work, doing things outside of work. That being said, we don't do it that often, because I know a lot of people don't like to do stuff outside of work. You know, they kind of want to be like separate, which is great. So we only do these things, you know, like once a quarter, maybe 3-ish times a year. So yeah, we don't overdo it, but anyways, we love to have fun. We also have annual holiday parties, that kind of stuff. Banquets. I believe we have a big party every year for people who have been with the company for 5 years, and it's kind of like your 5-year anniversary party, and it's this like elegant banquet. It's very lovely. And then let's see, let me tell you about, there we go. So I would like to tell you about some of the roles that you can apply to right out of high school. So the first one that comes to mind is a sterilizer technician, and then a patient care advocate or appointment center rep. So the first one, I would suggest, if you're even interested a little bit in the dental field, to go into being a sterilizer tech. You don't have to have any credentials. It's just right out of high school. It helps if you have maybe taken some career days like today in the dental field, and you can put that on your resume. But technically you don't need any experience in the dental field. But what you do is basically assist dental assistants, and in each dental office, there is a sterilizer room. And so you kind of turn over rooms, and you take all of those equipment, bring them to the sterilizer room, and go through all the processes of sterilization. Dental assistants also do this, so it's a great stepping stone into the dental assistant field. But to be a dental assistant in Oregon, you do have to have credentials. So the great thing about Willamette Dental is that we will hire you on as a sterilizer tech, and then we will offer you tuition reimbursement. So we'll help you go through the dental assistant program. You can apply to like Portland Community College. They're a great one to apply to. We will pay for your college. And then when you get to the point, we also require an expanded functions dental assistant certification. That's also a test, and you have to have a dentist sign off on it, but we will also pay for that. So essentially, you could be hired on and working with us, making a paycheck, also potentially going to school if you would like. And then we would promote you up to a dental assistant. And then the same kind of works as far as growth. If you become a dental assistant and you want to become a dental hygienist, we would offer you that tuition reimbursement to move you to that next step. And then if you want to just go straight from high school to being a dental assistant or being a dental hygienist, you would need to go to school. So you'd need to go to a 2-year school for dental assisting or a 4-year school for being a hygienist, and that is just in Oregon. So there's a little bit different qualifications for Washington and Idaho. So since we're so close to Washington, sometimes it can be a better idea to jump over the river and work over there, because you can get a dental assistant job right out of high school in Washington. They have a little bit less restrictions on certifications. For example, you don't need that expanded functions dental assistant certification. So you could be hired with us in Washington as a dental assistant, and we would help you work towards getting any certifications that you would want. So basically, we would love to hire you and then help you move up in the company. And then other options outside of like actual dental stuff. We also have an administrative office. So for example, myself, I work remotely, but we have an office in Hillsborough. We also have an office in Vancouver, and that's where our appointment center is. So we have all kinds of different positions there that you could get right outside of high school. So if you would check our opportunities, just go to our website. But appointment center rep and patient care advocate are two roles that they're more like a front desk associate plus a concierge. So it's kind of a mixture of those two. You do a lot of obviously scheduling appointments and talking to patients, but you also help with insurance. Willamette Dental is an insurance company, so all of our insurance is handled through the front desk. So that's, again, what the patient care advocate would do. But we also have a program, if you kind of want to just dip your toes into dentistry, you can start as a patient care advocate. And then if you wanted to maybe become a dental assistant from that, we also have programs you can go through, like a part-time program. So you can work full-time or part-time, and then also go through the part-time program to become whatever you want to be, a dental assistant, hygienist, whatever route you would like to take. So it's a great opportunity. We have a lot of great opportunities for advancement and growth. And another great thing is we just have a lot of locations. So if you start out somewhere and you want to stay in the Pacific Northwest, you could probably transfer to a different location if you'd like to stay with the company. So kind of have some flexibility with that. And then as far as tuition reimbursement goes, so there are rules with it. You must be in good standing, like regarding performance reviews. So if you've been with the company 2 or 3 years and you have great performance reviews, then we would consider the tuition reimbursement. But if you maybe have been written up once or twice, or you come in late, or you use your cell phone outside of the time that you're allowed to, those things would kind of impact getting that tuition reimbursement. But we cover everything, including books and materials. And then we also reimburse by grade. So if you get an A, you would get 100% reimbursement. If you get a B, you would get 75% reimbursement. C is 50%, and then D is no reimbursement. So those are just kind of some of the guidelines to that. But for the most part, it's really easy. We have a whole learning and development team that partners with myself or partners with me to get people in the right program, to get them set up, and to always make sure they feel like they are being helped through the process. We don't just throw you in and say, good luck. There's check-ins and there's people that are, helping you through it. So yeah, let's see. I think actually that may have been my last slide, because I'd love to open it up to questions. I'd love for everyone to ask me any questions. I'm not sure. I can't see the chat, so I'm not sure if there are any questions in the chat already.
Well, there is one. What schools do you find most of your dentists and hygienists coming from, or what schools do you guys recommend?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got PCC, so Portland Community College is probably the biggest one for dental assistants and hygienists. And then we've also got Mount Hood Community College, Carrington College, and Concord. And then for dentists, we have a lot that come from OHSU, but also dentists are kind of different. We kind of pull them from anywhere. We do conferences outside of Washington, Oregon, Idaho. Like we're in Florida and Kentucky. Like we'll take a dentist from all over the United States.
And then can students get like internships or job shadowing with you guys?
Yes, absolutely. So we do both of those. Currently, at this very moment, we do have them on pause just due to COVID. But pretending that COVID's not here and everything's back to normal, we do both of those. All of our offices love to do job shadows or internships. Internships aren't as common, more like coming in for like a week just to shadow for a little bit is more like what it is, or you can come for longer, but neither of them are paid. So it's more of just a shadowing. But we love to do that. And then we also love to have you come to multiple offices. My region alone, the Portland region, we have 10 offices. And that's just like our practices. And then we've also got our headquarters and we've got our appointment center. So we love to have people come to all kinds of different ones and kind of see how each one is different. Because we have got some offices that have one dentist, one hygienist, and one dental assistant, and one receptionist, and that's it. And then we've got some offices that are huge, like the Lens office I showed you, that has 14 doctors, I think, multi-specialty. So they've got, it's a different schedule and a different way that they run the business compared to a smaller office. So it can be really beneficial to kind of go to both and see, what you're more interested in, what kind of pace you're interested in.
And then I do want to mention to the students that we are having the hiring expo on May 6th.
Yes.
And I know Willamette Dental is going to be there. Are you going to, what positions are you going to be hiring for?
All of them. We have openings everywhere. Since we're such a large company, we kind of always got something somewhere. And then I also have, I will be there personally, and then my learning and development partner will be there as well. So we'll have all kinds of flyers and goodies and stuff to kind of dive into how to get in with Willamette and advance yourself through Willamette. So we'll be hiring for the appointment center, for the patient care advocates, dental assistants, hygienists. Anybody, any administrative, we'd be looking for IT people, just anything. It's totally broad.
Okay. And then if you can talk a little bit about like the pay for those entry level positions and maybe dentists and hygienists as well.
Definitely. So let's see. We'll start with the front desk. The patient care advocate can make anywhere between $16 and $24. It all depends on, for a patient care advocate, a great resume would look like someone who has worked at maybe Starbucks for 2 years in high school, or had a part-time job working retail somewhere, just somewhere where you have interacted with customers, because you do that a lot in that position. So let's say you had 2 years at Starbucks full-time, we would see somewhere between $18 to $20 being offered to you. But if you maybe have never had a job before, which is totally fine, you would come in at that entry level at, I believe it's $16.95, so almost $17. And then dental assistant, you would come in at $20 to $30. So for a dental assistant, we have 3 levels. There's a dental assistant 1, a 2, and a 3. So a DA1 is someone who has just graduated from their program, and they do not have their expanded functions certificate yet. So we'll hire you as a DA1 at $20, $20.65, so $21. And then once you obtain that certificate, your pay would bump up. But if you graduated from Portland Community College, where you graduate with your certificate, we would hire you more of a mid-range as a DA2, so somewhere around $24 or $25. And then let's say you've been in the dental assisting field for 10 years, you have all your certificates and all of that, then that's where you would be hired in at that $30 rate. And then as far as pay at Willamette, when you're hired and you get a pay rate, that's basically the last time you'll ever see that rate, if you will, because every year you'll go up. Every year there's market adjustments and merit increases, where our compensation team looks at the overall structure and will increase pay due to whatever's going on and all kinds of equity. So your pay will continue to increase every year. And then hygienists, they come in outside of college, outside of a 4-year degree. I believe it is $50 an hour. And that is if you have all of your certifications that come with it. So we require a couple different things, being able to do local anesthesia, a nitrous oxide permit. There's one other that I'm blanking on right now, but you have to have all of those. So it's an extensive program where you get a lot of certificates. So we would bring you in at $50 an hour, and then it would go up from there.
And then, so what are some soft skills that you think students should have if they want to pursue like a career at Willamette Dental?
I would say definitely coming to things like this and maybe doing mock interviews. I recently did some mock interviews at a different high school. And I think it's very important to really be professional when you come in and interview and speak with recruiters and hiring managers, because it really stands out to them. I have a lot of hiring managers who interview with candidates. They always mention those who smile and those who are really friendly, and those who chat a lot. I know sometimes interviewing can be like nerve-wracking, and you never know what they're going to ask, and are you going to have an answer to the question? But it's better to talk more than to not have anything to say. And just to have a positive attitude when you come in. Sometimes people come in and they might be a little nervous or intimidated by how big the office is, and so they kind of shrink into themselves. But I think it's best just to stay confident. Even if you don't feel confident, just pretend, and it'll be fine as long as you smile and you're friendly and you chat. As far as interviewing goes. And then just other soft skills, some of the biggest challenges that I go through when I'm trying to hire people is people who ghost me. I mean, I will set up a phone interview and I'll call someone and they just won't answer. So I would recommend not doing that, because recruiters and other professionals will put a note next to your name and remember, oh, they ghosted me that time. They must not be serious about getting a job. So that happens a lot. Or maybe if you had an interview scheduled, but you got a job in the meantime, just shoot someone a text and let them know. Just shoot the people an email or a text and say, hey, I already got a job, I'm not going to be there, instead of not showing up at all. A lot of times when we have a dental assistant come in for a working interview, so they come in and when they interview, they actually work on a patient. So our schedule gets set up differently to accommodate another hand basically being there. So if that candidate doesn't show up for their interview, it kind of throws off the whole day and the whole schedule. So just really being communicative with whoever you're speaking with is probably the biggest one. Just let people know if you're not going to answer, or maybe you have questions or whatever, just ask them up front and just talk to them.
And then personally, what is it that you like about Willamette Dentals? What has made your experience there good? And, maybe on the opposite side, what are some things that you least like?
Mhm. Yeah, I absolutely love it here. So I think I mentioned I work remote, so I think that's awesome. I know that's not for everyone, but it is definitely for me. I love it. I love my team. I feel like everyone that I've worked with, I have a recruiting team, and then I've also got my like the practices that I run in the Portland area. That's my team as well, with like hiring managers that I work with. And everybody that I meet is so nice. Like they are just the nicest people. When I first started out, and you're learning when you first work, everyone is so helpful and nice about being helpful. No one was like snarky or wow, you didn't get this yet. It was just very nice. And I actually hadn't experienced that in a workplace before. It had been it's different, especially when you're young going into the workforce. It's a different feel. And so it's nice working with people who just it doesn't matter, what your age is or what your knowledge is. Everyone's just here to learn and do their job and help each other out. So that's something that I love about Willamette. We have a great community. We do stuff outside of work. I love that we do that. I love the parties. I think that's really fun. We have emails that come through like once or twice a week, recognizing people, sending out, little rewards like gift cards and stuff like that. It's just a place where people are recognized for good work. And what else do I love about Willamette? I get the opportunity to travel. So like I mentioned, we travel for dentist recruitment, and there are other people within Willamette Dental who travel as well, not just a recruiter at administrative roles. So there's just all kinds of opportunities. You can flip-flop as well. Like if I decided I wanted to become a dental assistant today, they would totally be on board with that, and they'd send me to dental assisting school. Like they're just open to anything. Once you're a Willamette Dental employee, I mean, your family, they're going to help you out in any way that they can. So I definitely love that about them. As far as anything like negative, I don't really think I have anything terrible. I mean, there's challenges in every job, in every different position. But I think I've been really lucky with my team and the stuff I get to do. I mean, I'm sitting here at 10 a.m. talking to you guys. It's great. My job is great.
Okay, I think that was all the questions. Do you have any other like words of advice you would like to give the students?
Let's see, words of advice. Best advice is just stay positive. Just have a positive outlook on absolutely everything, and that's it.
Okay, well, sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us today to talk about Willamette Dental. It does sound like a really great place to work. I know when I'm here at work and then someone, I did something nice and someone brings me cookies, I'm like, oh my God, this
So
is
nice.
amazing.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was great to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording.